Hello, hello, hello. Hola, hola, hola. Welcome to a new episode of the Yoga for All Bodies video podcast. As you can see on your screen, today I'm by myself because I have an important message that I'm super passionate about that I want to share with you. So I even prepared some slides. So I'm going to share my screen. So today I want to share with you my passion about yoga props. Sharing with you all about props, how and why we need to use these tools in our practice. So as you can see in the picture, that's my baby, Trixie Pixie. She also loves props, the chair, the blocks, the strap, everything. And I also love them. And why it's so important that we use props in our practice, that we teach. If you are a yoga teacher, a yoga instructor, why you need to teach your students how to use them. Because number one, props don't make it less yoga. A lot of people think that props are a way of cheating, of not enjoying the full expression of the pose, and those are lies. They don't make it less yoga. No, no, no. And for me, it's like using tools in the kitchen. When we cook, we use gloves, different spoons, different knives. Same thing for the practice. Tools, one more time, that will help us to enjoy every single aspect of the practice. And everything can be a prop, by the way. We will cover it later. And props are also an extension of your body. For example, blocks can help you reach the ground or bring the earth closer to your hands. Same thing for the straps. They are not like an extra implement away from the practice, away from the body. No, they become one with your body during your practice. So props are an extension of the body. They also give comfort and support. Comfort, especially in restorative yoga, yin yoga, or just if you want to lay on your mat or you want to sit more comfortably in a chair or also in your mat. So they are not only for active poses, for power yoga. No, you can use props also in seated meditation, in restorative, in yin yoga, and actually every single time that you want to practice. And props will also help you to go deeper in the poses or not as deep. For example, if you live in a body that has hypermobility or you teach someone with hypermobility, just by placing a block under the hand, you're closing the chain. So you're pressing the hands, activating different muscles group, and maybe in a pose that was so easy because you weren't feeling anything, you will notice the engagement, new sensations. So yes, yes, yes. And if you hear me say this, you can also relate it that props are not for beginners, are not for people that only live in bodies that are not flexible enough or that need support in their practice. No. Anybody, everybody can benefit from using props in the practice to discover new sensations and at the end of the day, feel different during your practice. Because one more time, this is called practice because every day is going to be different. There's not a goal, there's no graduation day, no, no, no. And of course, props will help you to feel safer and to be safer during your practice, to not go as deep and to feel that support, to feel the earth on your feet, an extension of the earth in your hands, a lot of benefits. And absolutely, they make the classes and the practice more inclusive and accessible for all bodies and all minds. So probably you've seen this message on my social media, and I'm going to repeat it every single day until the day I die. Props exist to give you support and they don't make it less yoga. Also, props are all levels. No matter if you have been practicing yoga for a day or for 20 years. Graduating from the use of your props doesn't mean that you are experiencing or living advanced asana or advanced poses. That's other lie that I hear so many times. So no. Props are all levels. Beginners, people that have been practicing their whole life, for everybody. And my invitation is for you to play with your props, to play with your blocks, to play with the chair, to play with the wall, play with the strap, and to use them regularly. Because if you make them part of your practice, you will realize how creativity starts to come out, how ideas to create yoga variations, not modifications, variations, will start arising every single time. Get creative, think new ways on how to use them, on how to offer them to your students, because the imagination is the limit. And by the way, you don't need anything fancy to start your practice. I've encountered people in social media, also face-to-face, that they tell me, I'm saving money to get my mat, this yoga mat, this brand, to start my practice. No. You can start your practice here and now, because everyday items are amazing replacement for yoga props. As you can see in this picture, you can use, for example, a tiny seat as an extension of the arms to replace your blocks, towels or blankets to replace the Mexican blankets that we traditionally use in yoga. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use your dog's leash. And one more time, imagination and creativity are the limit. And let me say it again. You don't need anything fancy, anything expensive, props or yoga clothes to start and enjoy your practice. So now I'm going to give you like the basic props that you can use and some tips on how to discover which are the best material or best uses for these yoga props. So number one, we have the yoga mat. Used in all the styles, restorative, yin, power yoga, vinyasa, hatha yoga, all the practices uses a yoga mat. And the reason behind this is not to say, okay, I'm practicing yoga now. No, there's a safety reason behind it. They come in different sizes, different materials, different thickness, but the most important function is that they prevent you from sleeping, especially in downward facing dog, any other inversions. They allow you to feel grounded and at the end of the day to be safe during your practice. So one more time, you have different sizes, different materials. I invite you to explore what is the one that is going to work for your body. Before deciding and choosing the mat I use today, I tried so many mats. Before the pandemic, it was amazing because you could go to a yoga studio and they would rent you mats. So I tried so many different brands and I have sweaty hands. So when I'm doing downward facing dog, in 90% of the mats, I sleep. Yes. And that's no bueno. It's not safe for the body. You need to feel grounded. You need to be able to push the mat away, to enjoy the sensations in your body without worrying that you're going to fall. So super important. So yoga mat, first use, principal use, grip, and to avoid sleeping during your practice. Then we have yoga blankets. They are traditionally used in restorative practices, slower pace practices. They give cushion, comfort, and they come in different materials, different sizes, different firmness. One more time, I invite you to try them, feel it in your body. And they have endless uses. For example, you can use a blanket under the knees for knee padding. You can cover yourself up while you're resting in Savasana or in other restorative yoga pose. You can elevate and support the head during your practice. You can sit on top of the blanket to elevate the hips, and you can also roll them to create your own bolsters. So endless uses. And here, there are some pictures in which I'm using a lot of blankets. In the first one, here in the chair, I'm using the blanket to elevate the hips, to allow the rotation of the pelvis on top of the femurs, on top of the legs, to really rest instead of having that tightness and pull in the lower back. And in this other, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 blankets that we can see. So this message is super important. You can use as many props as your body and your mind are asking you, to feel comfortable, to feel supported, and to allow your mind and your body go in all the poses, because this is your practice. So use all the props that you have nearby. Also, you can use blankets to cover your whole mat, to support the head, under the belly, or the front of the hips. The important thing is that you get creative and you use your props to make yourself comfortable, to enjoy your practice. Then we have the yoga strap. The strap for me is an extension of your arms. For me, the strap is not to pull the legs closer to the body, to bring the forehead to the ground when you are in forward folds. No. The strap is to create gentle tension, gentle traction, and to use it as an extension of your arms. They come in different lengths, different materials, and different rings. The rings are to close the loop, and they come in endless possibilities. So one more time, I invite you to explore and choose the one that feels good. For example, maybe it's going to be easier to have a closing that you will press with the fingers and it will open, or you prefer rings. Explore. And the uses is to leave the legs together in some poses. That's not my favorite use, but I see it a lot. For example, in legs up the wall or legs up the chair, people will use this belt around the legs to prevent the legs from opening. I prefer freedom, so I don't strap my legs. You can also use it for your shoulder work, for side bends. And my favorite uses, extension of the arms in Gomukhasana arms, in Happy Baby, knees to chest, Supta Padangusthasana, and more. And you can see it here in the pictures. Shoulder work, this is my favorite used in Happy Baby. Extension of the arms one more time. Inadvasana boat pose, in which you can press the feet, imagining that you have a wall here. So instead of the wall, you're using the strap to press the feet. And Supta Padangusthasana. So choose the length, the material that works for your body. And the most important thing, use it. Use it. Then we have blocks. I would say this is the most popular yoga prop out there, and it's amazing. Blocks offer support, extension of the arms, to go deeper or not as deep in the poses, to bring the earth closer to your hands, and they come in different sizes, different materials. You can find cork, foam, and some people are now creating some blocks that are huge. They are called the mega blocks, and they are basically like 2 or 3 blocks together. So endless possibilities. And the different materials also allow you to play in different ways. My favorite material is cork, because it's heavy, you can balance, you can stand on those blocks and nothing will happen. And the uses are, for example, in forward folds, to support the forehead, to support the arms, in lunges, low lunges or high lunges, as support for the hands, in standing poses, half moon, halfway lift, forward fold, to bring the earth closer to your hands one more time. In bridge pose, to support the sacrum, chair pose to hold it in between the legs, to sit on top of your blocks. You can plank with blocks under the hands. You can do downward facing dog with the blocks under the hand. They can give you support in tree pose or any other balance pose. So one more time, explore how you can use your blocks. And most important, teach it to your students, show them how to use it. And here's some pictures. In halfway lift, pressing the hands, closing the chain to activate the whole body instead of just hanging there, letting gravity do the work. In Malasana, and by the way, you can use different heights of the blocks. The highest height, maybe the first height, whatever works for your body. Here, to support your child's pose, to support the feet while you're practicing on a chair. You can use 2, 3, 4 blocks, whatever feels amazing. And this, super important. If you are a teacher and you are inviting your students to sit, don't tell them sit on a block. If you're working with students in larger bodies, they will listen to you and they will use one block, and that feels horrible. It's like the block is poking you the whole time. So invite them to use blocks, and they can decide if they want to use 2, 3, 4, whatever they need. Build bigger bases, big bases to support your body and take the space your body needs. Other use in tree pose, to support the feet, help you with balance, or even to feel new sensations. Yes, yes, yes. Then we have bolsters. They are cushions to give you comfort, support. They are traditionally used in restorative practices, yin yoga also. They come in different sizes, different shapes, different materials, different firmness. As you can see here, one is round, the other is a rectangle. Explore. Feel them in your body. Maybe you will need a bolster that is super, super thin, or a huge bolster. Try them, explore them, and choose the one that will help you, that will feel amazing in your body, in your mind during your practice. Some uses or common uses is to support your torso or lower body in poses like pigeon pose, child's pose, to support your torso in a gentle heart opener. Endless uses. And the more traditional or the more popular use is during Savasana, in which you will place a blanket under the head or a pillow under the head and the bolster under the knees. One more time, there's no yoga police. Nobody is going to come and tell you, no, you can use this prop like this. No. Creativity, imagination are the limit. The important thing is that the use or your variation feels good and that you're safe and that your students are safe. Other than that, everything is allowed. So try them, explore, and choose the one that feels amazing. Some uses. For example, in Camel Pose, you can place the bolster on top of the calves as an extension, as bringing the ankles closer to the hands. Gentle heart opener. This variation with 2 bolsters feels like a dream because there's more support than using the blocks, the way that we traditionally see these poses. You can also add an extra bolster, for example, here, under the knees for the hip openers. As support during your pigeon pose, in your seated pigeon pose. You can also use a bolster if for any reason being in your hands and knees doesn't feel good. You can bring the forearms on top of the bolster and continue exploring your cat and cow. Also, to sit and enjoy your seated cat and cow. A lot of options. In different Savasana variations, this is the traditional that I was mentioning before, to build the ramp. In between the legs, if you want to be on your side, to support your forehead in forward folds. Endless, endless possibilities. Then we have the chair. The chair is to offer support, an extension of your arms, and to also enjoy a whole practice, maybe seated on the chair or standing and using the chair for support. They come in different materials. The traditional yoga for chair, chair for yoga is this one that is made of steel. But the truth is that you can use any chair. The important thing is that it doesn't have wheels and that you use the forelegs inside your mat. And for even more safety, you can put it against the wall. This way, it won't move and you can really use it for support. You can push the chair away and it will not move. So one more time, extension for your arms in standing poses, support in balancing poses, in restorative poses like legs at the chair instead of legs at the wall. You can sit and do a whole practice there. Seated, yes. Forward folds, downward facing dog, endless possibilities. So super important, the chair is not only for seniors. That's another misconception that I see so much, especially in social media. No, anybody can practice chair yoga because every day is going to be different in your body, in your mind. If you're a teenager and you feel called to practice chair yoga, do it. You don't have to wait to be a senior. No. Your body, your practice. So some uses. This is butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana, seated on a chair. And you can use your blocks to support the feet. Lunges with a chair. Child's pose, using 2 chairs and a lot of blankets. And by the way, this model is my husband. So sweet, that practices these poses with a lot of props. Because props are to make your body feel comfortable. Especially if you don't practice yoga every single time and you want to rest your mind, rest your body, use your props. Yes. Here, legs of the chair. Warrior 3, with the help of the chair. Yes. Same Warrior 3, same benefits. Only you're using your props to honor the needs of your body and your mind. You can also use the seat to support you during tree pose. So as you can see, endless possibilities and so many variations that you can create using your props. Because props don't make it less yoga. They only give you more possibilities on how to enjoy your practice and more possibilities on how you can share the practice with your students to make it more accessible, welcoming for all the bodies. So some ideas on how you can incorporate props in your practice. If you are a teacher, teach with props. Even if you don't use them in your personal practice, you need to give this gift of these tools to your students. So teach with props, show them how to use it, because the practice is for the students, not for you. And maybe they will benefit from knowing that they can use a block for some pose, that they have the power to decide, yes, I want to use this prop, or no, I don't want to use this prop. But you need to show them how they will know how to use it if the teacher is not teaching them how to use the props. And if you are a student, use your props even if the teacher is not giving variations on how to use them. Trust yourself. If you feel you need a prop, go ahead and use it, because your body, your practice. So let's finish with some questions for yourself. First question, do you use props in your practice? Yes or no? No judgment here, just questions for you. Do you use props in your practice? Yes or no? If you don't use props, why is that? Do you want to start using them? What is happening? Why you don't use props in your practice? Next question. If you are a yoga teacher, do you use props to demo in your classes? Yes or no? And if you're not using props to teach, why is that? And now I stop sharing because that's the message I wanted to share with you today. The importance of using props in the practice, on how you can get creative and get more tools to share it with your students so anybody can meet the needs of their bodies and their minds where they are today. Let me know what you think about this episode. And if you're watching, like it, share it, subscribe, because this is a message that everybody needs to know. Props are for all bodies, all levels, all ages, and yoga truly is for all bodies. See you very soon in a new episode of the Yoga for All Bodies video podcast.